Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Press F for Fashion. In this tutorial we are going to create a basic skirt draft from the book Patternmaking for Fashion Design by Helen Joseph Armstrong in Clo3d. The buying links for this book and the other books that I recommend for pattern making are in description below. It won't cost you any extra money and will only help out the channel. Now with that out of our way, we can now start with drafting the basic pattern. First, we need to take the required measurement of the avatar or dress form as shown here on the screen right now. So please, if you don't have these measurements, pause this video, copy and take these measurements and come back. Now to create the basic skirt draft, we again have to first create a rectangle with the maximum width and height measurement of the lower body. Here the maximum width is the total sum of back hip arc and front hip arc measurement after adding ½ inch of ease to each of these hip arc measurements. And for the maximum height measurement, you can take your desired measurement. Here I am taking 22 inches for the skirt length. Now to create the rectangle, go to the side toolbar menu, then left click and hold press on the polygon option, then choose rectangle, then left click anywhere in the 2D window and in create rectangle dialog box, type in the total sum of hip arc measurement in the width option and type in the desired length in the height option, then hit OK. Now to create the partition for the front and back of the skirt, with pattern tool selected, hover the cursor near top left corner of the rectangle, then right click and choose the option split. Then in the dialog box, type in the back hip arc measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Now right click on this partition point, then go to add internal perpendicular line, then click on x-axis. Don't change anything in the dialog box and hit OK. Now mark this line AB and the corners of the rectangle DHF and J respectively. The next step is A to C, which is center front hip depth. To do this, with pattern tool selected, hover the cursor near point A, then right click, choose split, and in the dialog box type in the center front hip measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark this point C. Now right click on point C, go to add perpendicular internal line and click on Y axis. To score out from C, in the dialog box, check the both option and hit OK. Mark the points E and I respectively. Now click and select FD line, then right click and left click on add point to intersection option in the menu. Next step is E to G, which is center back hip depth. To do this, with pattern tool selected, hover the cursor near point E line, then right click and in the dialog box, type in the center back hip measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark this point G. Next step is D to K, which is back waist arc measurement plus 1/4 of an inch, which is ease, and we have to add 2 inch for dart intake. To do this, first add 1/4 of an inch ease and 2 inch dart intake to the back waist arc measurement. Now with pattern tool selected, hover the cursor near point D on DA line, then right click, choose split and in the dialog box type in the resulted back waist arc measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark this point K. Next step is D to L, which is dart placement. To do this, repeat the process of splitting the line near point D on DK line. In the dialog box, type in the dart placement measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark this point L. And now for the next step, we have to create a series of split from L to K. First create a 1 inch split from point L to mark the first dart. Then from this 1 inch mark point, create the second split of 1/4 of an inch to mark the dart space. And from this point, create the last split of 1 inches for the second dart. Now we have to score up and down from K. To do this, right click on point K. In the pop-up menu, go to add perpendicular internal line option and then click on x-axis. In the dialog box, type in 1 inch in the line 1 option, then check the both option and hit OK. Next step is H to M, which is front waist arc plus 1/4 of an inch ease, and we have to add 1 inches to it for the dart intake. To do this, first add 1/4 of an inch ease and 1 inch of dart intake to the front waist arc measurement. Now with the pattern tool selected, hover the cursor near point H on HA line, then right click in the pop-up menu, choose the split, then in the dialog box type in the resulted front waist arc measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark this point M. Next step is S to N, which is dart placement. To do this, again repeat the process of splitting the line like we did before. Here in the dialog box, type in the dart placement measurement in the line 1 option and hit OK. Mark it N. Again, for the next step, we again have to create a series of split from end to end like we did before for the back. First create a 5/8 of an inch of split to mark the first dart, then create a second split from this point measuring 1/4 of an inch to mark the dart space, and from this point create the last split measuring 5/8 of an inch to mark the second dart. Now next step is to square up and down from M. To do this, repeat the same process we did for squaring up and down from K. Next step is C to P, which is side hip depth. This step is difficult to get the accurate measurement in this software, so only for this step we are deviating slightly from the book, but don't worry, it will give almost accurate fit result. For this step, with pattern tool selected, hover near point K in the upward direction, then right click, choose split. In the dialog box, type in 1/4 of an inch in the line 1 option and hit OK. Now with internal polygon line tool selected, draw a slightly curved line from this point to point C with slightly touching the AC line at the end. To create curve points, hold press Ctrl and left click. Now repeat the same process for the front and mark the point above M, Q. Next step is drawing the waistline from G to P for the back and from H to Q for the front. To do this, with internal polygon line tool selected, click on point P, then create a slightly curved line to G. For the front, click on point Q and draw a slight curved line to the first point of the second dart near side seam. Next step is drawing the darts. Here we start with the back dart, where we have to locate the centers of each dart in take and square down 5.5 inches. To do this, with pattern tool selected, click and hover on the line between the first dart intakes. Then right click, choose split, and in the dialog box, check the uniform split with the default value 1 option and hit OK. This is the center of the first dart. Now right click on this point, go to add perpendicular internal line option and then click on x-axis. In the dialog box, type in 5.5 inches in the line 1 option and hit OK. Now join the dart legs. Repeat the same process for creating the second dart. Then to draw the dart legs from dart points to curve line of waist, simply right click on G to P line and in the pop-up menu, click on add point to intersection option. Next step is drawing the front darts where the dart length is 3.5 inches. To do this, again with pattern tool selected, click and hover over the line between the first dart intake near side seam, then right click, choose split, and in the dialog box type in 3.5 inches in the line 1 option and hit OK. Now draw the dart legs to this point. Repeat the same process for creating the second dart. Now make the lines between dart space and center front to through the waistline. Next step is creating a waistband. To do this, we first have to measure the total waistline measurement from front to back. Now with pattern tool selected, hold press shift and left click on the waistline from front to back to get the total waistline measurement. Now select the rectangle tool and left click anywhere in the blank space in the 2D window, and in the dialog box type in the total waistline measurement in the width option and type in 1.5 inches in the height option and hit OK. The last step is tracing, construction and simulation of the basic skirt stuff. So we first start with tracing the patterns. To do this, select the trace pattern tool. Now go to the back pattern, hold press, shift and left click to select all the pattern outlines and darts. And when we are done with tracing the back pattern, right click anywhere on the yellow highlighted line, then click on trace as a pattern option and drag the pattern away from it. Repeat the same process for the front. Now that we are done with tracing the patterns, we need to clean the unwanted lines. To do this, right click anywhere in the 2D window and in the pop-up menu, click on Lock All Pattern Outlines. Now left click and marquee select both the patterns and hit delete to unlock the pattern outlines. Right click and in the pop-up menu, click on Unlock All Pattern Outlines. Now we can start sewing the pattern. Click on Free Sewing tool and sew all the seams and darts as it is shown here. Keep in mind you are sewing in the right direction for both sides of the seams and darts. And then we have to sew the waist to the front and back waistline. To do this, first create a sewing line on one side of the waistband, then go to the right front block of the skirt pattern and by holding press shift and left clicking create the corresponding sewing line from front to all the way to the last back skirt pattern block waistline. Now that we are finished with sewing, go to the 3D window and in the left toolbar menu, click on Avatar Display option and in the slider menu, click on Arrangement Point option. Now go to 2D window, click on the front pattern and hop back to the 3D window and then hover the cursor over Arrangement Points till you get the position of the pattern correctly and left click. Now repeat the same process for the back pattern and waistband, and when we have positioned everything correctly, hit the space bar to simulate. And this is it. I hope that you have now learned to draft a basic skirt pattern in Clo3d. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you all again in the next tutorial video. Till then, keep pressing F and peace out.